Hello, everyone. This is Tikva from Homeopathy for Humanity, and today we are doing Aphorism 42.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Sanjay Solanki, and we will continue with Aphorism 42. Shall we start with screen share? Tikwa?
Obviously, that's the plan. Same routine every time.
Okay. Is it readable?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
Tikwa?
Yes,
So
sir. We can
here
read
we're
it.
back at the
Uh-huh.
similars. Nature herself permits, as has been stated, in some cases, the simultaneous occurrence of two, indeed of three, natural disease in one and the same body. This complication, however, it must be remarked, happens only in the case of two dissimilar diseases, which, according to the eternal laws of nature, do not remove, do not annihilate, and cannot cure one another. But as it seems, both or all three remain, as it were, separate in the organism, and each takes possession of the parts and systems particularly appropriate to it, which on account of the want of resemblance of these maladies for each other, can very well happen without disparagement to the unity of life. Okay, so he's saying that two dissimilar diseases do not remove, do not annihilate. The word annihilate means kill, and cannot cure one another, but that they can remain in the same person, each in a different part of the body as is appropriate for the disease. And this can happen without killing the person or without making them seriously ill.
They will run its own course, all two or three diseases of dissimilar type. They will not have any curative action on each other or any they will not even what you call, they will not cure or they will not remove the other disease. They will all those diseases will run their own course, right?
Yep. The nature of dissimilar diseases is that they can exist in the body together, each with their own seat of disease. And it's a law of nature that they do not cure each other. Dissimilar diseases do not cure or remove each other. And this can happen without the person being very sick, with each disease state taking possession of a different area or system. So that would be the seat of disease.
Mhm. Is there some more pages on that? I am not able to scroll that. Let me check again. Oh, okay.
And we're just going to be repeating what we've already said. Any questions about this?
There is something down there.
Yeah, but it's okay, since what we've already said about dissimilar diseases can exist together with its own seed of disease, that they don't cure each other, they don't remove each other, they can sit independently in their own location. Now we've said it, I think, 4 times.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I'm not able to scroll this file in this.
Okay, that's all right. We've already gone through it 4 times.
Okay.
Can we have any example of this aphorism?
Tegwa?
Well, do you have any examples of that, Sanjay?
Basically, what Hahnemann talks about dissimilar.
I mean, basically, this happens, we see it on a regular basis. Let's say somebody has their chronic disease that they have, their normal symptoms. And let's say there's an epidemic of influenza. The influenza is going to inhabit whatever symptoms or produce whatever symptoms, while generally speaking, the chronic recedes to the background, depending on how bad the chronic is. So there's a lot of different fluctuating things here about when there are 2 diseases. One usually suspends the other. Suspend, remember, we suspended this to show what suspends means. Hold it off. This is being held off by a cord, it's suspended. So usually when there's a dissimilar, one suspends the other when there's an acute. But I think that what Hahnemann is trying to talk here is that, for example, somebody can have a chronic disease of, syphilis that inhabits its special area, and that people can have spora at the same time have syphilis, and that those 2 diseases can coexist without.
Usually he's talking about those miasmatic diseases. And suppose somebody is having a chronic disease, and somebody like you said, and there is a epidemic, influenza or smallpox like that, and suppose somebody is sick with one chronic disease, and again he is getting second infection of sora. These are, he says it will run its course. But more important, more like chances likely to have a chronic disease with another acute dissimilar disease. Is that fine?
Okay. If so, then what do we do?
We
Out
have
of
to treat the acute. The symptoms, actually, what he is telling in this paragraph, when there are 2 diseases dissimilar coming together, and there remains there in an individual, they will not have effect on each other, or any curative action or any palliative action like that. They will run their own course like that. And only this much he is saying over here. Treatment part will come further later.
okay.
And we will see that, and more about treatment, we know that all most troublesome symptoms, most acute symptoms, most life threatening symptoms should be attended first.
Okay.
But when it
And
comes
when there is a acute and when there is a chronic, we have to focus on acute first.
Mhm.
You cannot take a chronic symptom when you are treating acute disease.
Hmm.
Many of people, we see that many homeopath will do this mistake. Hello,
Yes.
hello.
Yeah, when there is an acute disease that happens during a chronic, then what we need to do is suspend the treatment of the chronic, treat the acute with only the symptoms of the acute. And that is if it's a true acute. You know, if it's chicken pox or influenza or something that is, you know, a serious acute, then you're only looking at that acute symptomology. You're not combining that with any of the chronic. Now, Hahnemann also has the other situations where people can have, for example, syphilis and scora together. When that happens, depending on the age and the symptoms of the person, we might be giving an antisporic first, then mercury, or we might be going straight ahead with mercury, depending on the situation. When people have genital warts and scora, we might be giving an antisporic first, or we'll be giving thuja, a dose of nitric acid, and possibly another dose of thuja, and then going back to scora as needed. So a lot of it depends on like the age and the symptomology previous to the new chronic of your patient. And you just kind of go back and forth until the person is cured when it comes to two chronic diseases in the body.
And we should not forget that Hahnemann, what he told about treatment of chronic disease, especially when he talks about venereal disease. He said they are very easy to treat. Like syphilis might not need very long treatment. He said with mercury it will go off very easily. But treating Sora, he said it is more difficult and it has many facets and multi-headed. It is multi-headed. You might not see which is the right one, which or maybe you might not able to recognize the right thread in the case. So treatment part, it's coming in the next aphorisms, and we have a special section of treatment of chronic diseases. After I think aphorism 80 or 90 somewhere there. Hello. Anything else?
Hello. Hello.
Sir.
Aphorism 82.
It starts from somewhere from there, I think. I don't remember the exact number.
I
Can you
think
repeat?
telling it.
Can you repeat what you are saying? I just
No,
couldn't
I was
understand because
saying that we are coming on to that treatment part of chronic disease.
Right.
From 72, it's telling about
From 72, there is a case taking.
and there is he talks about definition of chronic disease and what are types of chronic disease,
Mm-hmm.
especially SORA. And somewhere in 80, it will is talking about how deep the SORA is, how deep-seated and multi-headed SORA is, all the symptoms he explains. And then he talks about treatment of or chronic disease.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere 85 or 90s, above 90 somewhere else. I don't remember.
In
Probably we will.
case
I
taking
will.
or something, it starts case taking.
There might be case taking part
Mm-hmm.
from 80 or
80,
80 to 90.
83 onward.
Huh.
And
Because
then,
Aphorism 74, Kahneman talks about the chronic disease.
mhm. Yeah,
And the
before that,
medicinal disease.
mhm.
Yep, the medicinal disease is in 77, the
Mhm.
natural chronic disease in 78. That results from the chronic miasm. And then 79, syphilis. And then 80, two chronic miasms joined together in the body. And on and on and on. And case taking, yep, like you said, 84 starts case taking. Well, that part of case taking, we've been reviewing the basics of case taking in Aphorism 5, Aphorism 6, Aphorism 7. So, yeah, there's all these things are all kind of sprinkled together. That's why learning it just by bits and pieces isn't as effective as learning it all together step by step. Because we keep returning to the same topic and we need to remember the information that we've already had.
Okay. Please continue then.
So that's all I have to say about the aphorism.
Pardon?
That's all I have to say about this aphorism.
Yeah.
Okay, I think yes. Hello.
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 Any question?
Please continue.
Okay, so are we done here with aphorism 42?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I think so. Okay,